The Bahamas emerged from a complex historical landscape, where colonial shadows and economic uncertainty dominated the archipelago's early narrative. How could a small cluster of islands transform into a global financial powerhouse? The initial conditions were far from promising: limited resources, minimal infrastructure, and a predominantly agricultural economy characterized by subsistence living. The first challenges were formidable. Geographic isolation, limited economic diversification, and a fragile post-colonial infrastructure created significant barriers. European powers had historically viewed these islands merely as strategic maritime points, never anticipating their potential for financial innovation. The pre-transformation scenario was marked by economic vulnerability. Fishing, agriculture, and limited tourism provided minimal economic sustenance. Local leaders recognized that traditional economic models would not survive in a rapidly changing global environment. They understood that radical reimagination was not just desirable, but essential for survival. Critical questions emerged: could a small island nation redefine its economic destiny? What strategic advantages could transform geographical limitations into unprecedented opportunities? The seeds of transformation were quietly germinating, waiting for visionary leadership to unlock their potential. The historical context was not just about economic survival, but about challenging established narratives of peripheral nations. The Bahamas stood at a crossroads, preparing to write a narrative that would challenge global economic expectations. Would you like me to continue? The revolutionary strategies emerged from a profound understanding that conventional thinking would lead to perpetual economic marginalization. Visionary leaders recognized that the traditional path was a road to stagnation, and radical transformation was the only viable option. Key leadership figures began to conceptualize the Bahamas not as a geographic limitation, but as a strategic financial platform. They understood that regulatory flexibility and strategic positioning could become powerful economic weapons. But how could a small nation compete in a complex global financial ecosystem? The turning points were characterized by bold, almost audacious decisions. The government implemented aggressive financial legislation that transformed legal frameworks, creating an environment extraordinarily attractive to international investors. Tax policies were redesigned, not incrementally, but with surgical precision. These weren't just policy adjustments, they were fundamental reimaginings of economic potential. Offshore banking regulations were crafted to provide unprecedented levels of financial privacy and operational flexibility. International corporations saw the Bahamas not as a distant archipelago, but as a sophisticated financial hub. The moments of transformation were marked by calculated risks and strategic vision. Leaders understood that economic reinvention required more than bureaucratic adjustments. It demanded a complete paradigm shift. What fundamental principles could transform a peripheral economy into a global financial center? How could limited resources become a competitive advantage? The identification of potential resources went far beyond traditional economic metrics. The Bahamas recognized that its most valuable asset was not physical infrastructure, but its strategic geographical position and regulatory flexibility. How could a small nation transform apparent limitations into unprecedented opportunities? Strategic transformation began with a radical reinterpretation of available resources. The island's geographic location became a critical advantage, positioned strategically between North America and global financial markets, offering unprecedented access and operational convenience. Financial regulations were not constraints, but sophisticated tools of economic engineering. Fundamental innovations emerged from a deep understanding of global financial dynamics. The government developed a regulatory environment that was simultaneously robust and attractive. Offshore banking frameworks were designed with surgical precision, offering international investors unprecedented levels of confidentiality and operational freedom. Differentiated elements included a comprehensive legal infrastructure that balanced transparency with strategic privacy. Tax policies were crafted not as restrictive mechanisms, but as sophisticated instruments of economic attraction. The Bahamas transformed from a peripheral territory to a global financial architecture, challenging established economic paradigms. The nation's leadership understood that true economic transformation required more than structural changes. It demanded a complete reimagination of potential. Resources were not just managed, but strategically repositioned to create maximum global impact. What invisible potentials could be unlocked through strategic vision? How could limited geographical space become a global financial platform? Geopolitical effects rippled far beyond the Caribbean archipelago, challenging traditional economic narratives and forcing global financial powers to reconsider established paradigms. The Bahamas emerged not just as a financial destination, but as a strategic reconfiguration of international economic dynamics. The most significant transformations occurred in sectors traditionally dominated by established financial centers. Banking, investment management, and offshore financial services became arenas where the Bahamas demonstrated unprecedented agility and innovation. International corporations began to view the islands not as a peripheral location, but as a sophisticated global financial hub. The international transformation was characterized by a strategic repositioning that defied conventional expectations. Regulatory frameworks were designed to attract global capital while maintaining a delicate balance of transparency and operational flexibility. Major financial institutions recognized that the Bahamas represented more than a tax haven. It was a sophisticated financial ecosystem. Economic positioning became a complex chess game of global strategic advantages. The nation leveraged its geographic location, legal infrastructure, and innovative financial policies to create a unique value proposition. International investors saw opportunities where traditional economic models saw limitations. Critical questions emerged. How could a small island nation fundamentally reshape global financial architectures? What strategic advantages could transform apparent geographical constraints into unprecedented economic opportunities? The impact transcended mere economic metrics, representing a fundamental challenge to established global financial narratives. The Bahamas demonstrated that economic potential is not determined by size, but by strategic vision and innovative thinking. Statistical revelations shattered conventional economic expectations, presenting a narrative of growth that defied traditional predictive models. The numbers were not just impressive, they were a testament to strategic transformation. Foreign direct investment surged from minimal millions to billions within a remarkably compressed time frame. Financial services sector growth exploded, expanding by approximately 700% in less than 2 decades. Offshore banking assets multiplied exponentially, reaching astronomical figures that challenged global financial analysts' comprehension. Comparative economic data revealed a staggering transformation. While neighboring Caribbean nations struggled with economic stagnation, the Bahamas experienced unprecedented financial expansion. per capita income increased by nearly 300%, creating an economic miracle that economists struggled to explain. Previously unknown data points emerged, revealing complex layers of financial innovation. The number of international corporations establishing operational bases grew from dozens to thousands. Tax revenue diversification reached levels that fundamentally restructured the national economic infrastructure. Exponential growth was not linear but represented a quantum leap in economic potential. Each statistical metric told a story of strategic reinvention, challenging established narratives about small island economies. What hidden potential lies beneath seemingly impossible economic transformations? How do numbers reveal deeper narratives of strategic innovation? The statistics were more than cold numerical representations. They were a language of economic revolution, speaking volumes about strategic vision and transformative potential. Success strategies emerged from a profound understanding that economic transformation requires more than tactical adjustments. It demands a complete reimagination of potential. The Bahamas demonstrated that strategic vision could overcome seemingly insurmountable limitations. Risk analysis revealed a sophisticated approach to global economic navigation. Traditional barriers were not obstacles but opportunities for innovative positioning. The nation's leadership understood that economic resilience comes from adaptability, not rigid adherence to established models. Critical learnings transcended immediate financial metrics. Flexibility, strategic positioning, and a willingness to challenge conventional economic narratives became fundamental principles of sustainable development. The Bahamas proved that size is not a determinant of economic potential. Future projections suggested continued evolution beyond traditional financial services. Emerging technologies, blockchain innovations, and sophisticated digital financial architectures presented new frontiers of opportunity. The nation's strategic approach positioned it not just as a current player, but as a potential future leader in global financial innovation.